it's not exactly the cleanest sound environment to record in, but you know what? Let's do it anyway, because then I've got more time to edit and get everything together. This morning is actually day number 114, I think. But this is day number 113's vlog. Now, Martin, you said that you were going to be as up-to-date and keep going as much as possible, and that's true. I'm trying to do that, but unfortunately I was waylaid yesterday by unexpected things that mean that I cannot or could not record at the time. Things involving this. So, I got picked up yesterday by an ambulance. This is one of these things where, like, looking back on it, it's kind of like, oh, okay, that's a thing that happened, and obviously it's not serious because I'm here, I'm in my living room. Well, it's not like serious, like needs to be done like right then and there, you know? So, let's have a discussion about why I ended up in hospital, shall we? So, basically, yesterday, woke up on a morning and I had a little bit of stomach pain. It was, hey, cat. It was worse than it's been the last few times that I've had the stomach pain. But not by a great deal. It was, it was enough where I was like, oh, I probably shouldn't have eaten the Indian last night. That was a bit greasy. Oh, ow. But for the most part, was able to just get on with life, Got up, was fine. Like, after a little bit, was all good. And, just sort of like sat around, played on the laptop, chatted a little bit with Rowan, played with some toys, watched cartoons, like the usual stuff. And in accordance with the fact that it was a cheat day, I called for a pizza with some, the pizza that I called for was like a vegetarian one. So it was like broccoli and chunks of tomatoes and peppers and onions and this, that and the other. And then I got some chicken dippers alongside because Rowan likes the chicken dippers. He eats the breadcrumbs off the outside and then a bit of the chicken. And if it's a vegetable pizza, he'll eat it. If it's a meat pizza, he sits there and picks off the meat. Don't ask me why. But anyway, so I ordered that and it arrived, and as it arrived, I was having like a little bit of pain in the stomach area again, like that same sort of thing. So I'm wandering around, hand on my abdomen, going ow, ow, as I take the pizza off the guy. Literally get it into the house, put it down on the counter, and almost threw up. Like, the pain started getting that bad. All told, over the course of the next like half hour, I hit about an 8 on the out of 10 scale, which is, it's still enough to communicate and say things and like semi-coherent sentences, but there's an awful lot of swearing involved. Believe me. 9, I think, is meant to be something like you can grind out 1 or 2 words if asked. Like, you can give 1-word answers to things, but for the most part you're like non-verbal. And 10 is just there's nothing coming out of your mouth apart from ah. That's how I look on it anyway. I know everyone's scale is different, but Anywho, yeah, I ended up sweating a ridiculous amount. Like, I had been wearing clothes, I ripped those off and just ended up laid on the floor of the bathroom screaming to myself. Rowan was just in the living room here, just like watching cartoons and stuff and merrily playing with his toys. So yeah, that was fun. I called Saguta home from work while I was while I was bent over, yelling in agony, and then after about another 20 or 30 seconds, or what felt like 20 or 30 seconds anyway, I called the ambulance on myself, which calling for help in German is a very interesting experience because you can give them the information, but finding out what information they want is kind of hard. Like, I've called ambulances in England for other people often enough that I know, like, what they're gonna ask, and I'm confident in, like, my ability to just reel off the things that they need. Whereas over here, I don't know. So, about 10 minutes later, which is a ridiculously good response time, actually. Like, it's not perfect, but it's pretty good. I got 2 paramedics that turned up, let themselves into the house. First thing they said as they walked in, because they saw Rowan's room was open, was, "Where's the child?" "Oh, he's through there." "Okay, good. Is someone coming to get him?" "Yeah, like his mum's on his way home." "Okay, fantastic. You sit down here, we'll take your blood pressure, etc. Like the usual checks that they do." So I'm sat here grunting and groaning as they in my pants, no less, as they sort me out. They back and forth a little bit in German. I didn't really quite understand a lot other than Schmerz and scharf, so like a really strong sharp pains. Followed by, they switched to English and said, "Yeah, we're going to take you in. How far away is your wife?" "Not a clue." "Ring my wife." Saguta says, "I'm about 5 minutes away." "Okay, great." So I used that 5 minutes to throw on a t-shirt and shorts, sandals, get my glasses back from wherever I put them, my wallet just in case, and then off we went. When Saguta came back in, like, she came through the door and we were out the door within the same 10-second period. Into the back of the ambulance, to the hospital, got put in a little queue in a wheelchair. So as I'm, still like, still in agony. "Oh, hi Rowan, you're gonna sit next to me today? Okay." Oh dear. Yeah, so as I'm in agony, I'm just like sort of sat in the corridor waiting for triage to catch up. Because there's like 2 or 3 people that have come in at exactly the same time as me, in front of me, and everyone's getting cannulas in and IV drips and all sorts of things. So I think, in all honesty, I probably only waited around about maybe 15 minutes in the hospital as well, which, yeah, like, the pain makes it seem more, but it really wasn't that long. They hooked me up to an IV of saline with some drugs in. And they said, "There's some pain relief for you. Now we'll just wait to see when the ultrasound room is free." And I sat there in my little cubby with Herr Geisler. Herr Geisler is a wonderful old little German man who refused to stay where he was put and refused to attach his IV drip bottle to an IV stand, so kept wandering around with it in his hand, the hand that had his cannula in. And he was a nightmare for nurses, doctors, other patients, everything. And I didn't have enough German in me to tell him to sit down and stop moving, as I was asked to do by one of the doctors at one point. Anyway, sat there, took my pain meds like a champ, the entire IV bag, which was like a 250ml bag, empty within about 20 minutes. Which, I think that's kind of fast. All that the pain meds did was dry my mouth out. It didn't actually... unfortunately for me, all that the pain meds did was give me a serious case of dry mouth. It didn't really do anything for the pain at all. Like, I think while I was sat there and I wasn't moving, I managed to drop down to about a 4, which is still like quite painful, but you know, like people ask you stuff, you can concentrate on a conversation and go through it, and you can talk fairly normally and that sort of thing, but it's still like, you know, you're tensed a bit. So yeah, that was great. I was sat there for, I think all told, about 2-3 hours. I think about 2 by the time that the ultrasound queue finished, because you know it's the emergency ultrasound. There's a lot of women coming in for you know, like pain in ovaries and cervix and all that sort of thing, and they sort of jump the queue a little bit. They're you know, as is kind of right, you know, like I'm sat there like in pain, but you know, able to converse, and these poor women are being dragged in like with horrific pains, and the easiest way to have a look is ultrasounds. So you know, so eventually we got there. And they said, right, okay, Mr. Clayton, lie down, please. So I laid down, and the pain hit a 6. And they were like, oh, great, okay, lift up your t-shirt up, all right. Conductive gel. Like all the things that I'd seen them do to my wife, basically, but with me instead. So yeah, that was fun. That was weird being on the other end of. Like, I know that the gel just feels weird anyway, because I've had it on my fingertips when I've been helping clean up Saguta while she was pregnant with Rowan. But yeah, that stuff gets everywhere, and it just does not wipe off at all. Like if it's ever on your abdomen, like yeah, it's a pain, and all my chest hair was matted and blah. Yeah, like did that and got the ultrasound wand and jammed it on me, and the pain hit a 7 again, like an 8. I'm like, that's really painful. And then, you know, like going through, and they turn the monitor to me and they say, okay, so here's your gallbladder. You see these bits? Yeah, those are stones. Oh, great. Yeah, there's quite a few. We might need to operate. We would recommend operating. We recommend getting it taken out right now. Okay, great. Yeah, that sounds wonderful. Can you lie on your side for me? Ah! So I did. And, oh God, that was a struggle. They asked me to breathe in as deeply as I could and actually like push my belly out, like stop clenching the muscles, and I just couldn't. I couldn't in any way. Like the deepest I could breathe was probably like it was not good, you know. So yeah, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. Then they said, you know, okay, well, there's two things that we recommend basically. One is that you can, you know, talk to the surgeons, get it cut out right here, right now, and you might have to stay in overnight, that sort of thing. Okay, what's the other things? Well, basically, we put you on the ward for maybe 3 or 4 days, and we just pump you full of antibiotics and see whether or not that helps. I'm like, call the surgeons. If you're recommending surgery, there's probably a reason you're recommending surgery. So yeah, surgeons, let's speak to them. And they said, great, okay, head outside the room and just wait around for a bit. Sorry, we got interrupted because I had to go and do a nappy change on Rowan. Yeah, like, all done, pop outside here, and the surgeon will turn up eventually. So, walked outside the room, and the wheelchair that I was sat in is gone. And there's no free beds. And no one's pointed me to a waiting area, or told me anything about how long the wait's gonna be, or where I should be, or if I need to go anywhere. So I just sort of hung around waiting, and waiting, and waiting. And eventually, about 2 hours after, the doctor who'd seen me and done my ultrasound came up and said, "Oh, I'm terribly sorry for the wait." I said, well, you know, it takes as long as it takes. Where am I meant to be waiting? She said, "What do you mean? Like, this is your bed?" "No, this is Herr Geisler's bed. Herr Geisler has been released and sent home. No one has changed the sheets off of it yet, or taken away his coffee mug or anything. I think because they think it's my bed." "Oh, give me a minute." So someone came along and changed the sheets on it, and you know, then I had a bed. So that was good. And then another few hours later, eventually the surgeon turned up and said, "Hello, Mr. Clayton." "Hi, nice to meet you." Right, basically, how you doing?" "Oh, not too bad now." "Oh, why is that?" "Well, the pain stopped, like completely dead about 2 hours ago." You know, I've been in the hospital for 7 hours at this point, and you know, now I'm kind of okay. Like the pain is gone. I assume because, like, you know, either it's a thing that will disappear over time, or I've gotten used to it, or something. And she said, "Oh, great. Well, if the pain's gone, then we don't have to operate right now." "What?" "Oh, yeah. If the pain stopped, then you can just go off and make the appointment on your own, like as a voluntary, like, outpatient thing, and we don't have to do it. Here's my recommendation: take some antibiotics for the next few days. I'll prescribe some painkillers as well in case you have any mild pain or anything like that. But obviously, if it starts hurting massively again, come on in." "Ah, okay, great. Like, how? Like, is it like a serious thing? Like, should I get it done?" "Well, I recommend from what I saw, like, you should probably get it taken out within a week, maybe 2. "Oh, okay. Cool. I'll get right on that then." And then I got released. I literally just got let out of the door. I had a quick chat with my doctor, who was giving me the release notes and everything, which I actually have. So I've got like full blood work and everything on there. So we can maybe have a look at the cholesterol levels and stuff. I don't have anything to compare it to from before I started, but you know, all the cool kids are showing off their blood results and lipids and things like that. So let's do it too. And she basically said, "Okay, so a thing that you need to do is avoid all fatty foods and greasy foods up until, you know, after you've taken out, and after it's been taken out, sparingly have things that have grease and fat and stuff." Okay, cool. "You mean like I've been doing?" "What?" "No, nothing, never mind." Yeah, just like, you know, try and live a healthy lifestyle, and off you go." Great. So I went, grabbed some stuff, came home. This is what I had. This is the only food that I had across the entire day. And you will notice that pretty much what is there is not too dissimilar to what I would be eating on a Mary's Mini, apart from the bread buns. Yeah. So it was a cheat day where I didn't cheat, kind of enforced by my body, and continuing to be enforced by my body. Like, I don't want to go through that sort of pain again, so I'm going to try and avoid it as much as possible. Yeah, that was fun. So yeah, sort of let everyone know, everyone important, that while I was in the hospital anyway, I let everyone know what was going on, why I was in there and stuff. You know, messaged my mum, for example, and the response to that was, "Oh God, do you need me to come over?" No, like, if I'm the one calling you and telling you that I'm in the hospital, you don't need to come over. It's not that bad. You know, if it's my wife or a doctor, then you come over from a different country to see me, you know, because probably I've done something stupid. Let's be honest. Sort of let Jessica and Brian know as well, just, you know, because we talk most every single day, and they'd started messaging me, and there's not really anything else you can do while you're hooked up to an IV. So I messaged them and told them about what was going on as well. Which in and of itself was quite fun, because apparently they'd asked me in German which arm I write with, so that they could put my cannula and IV and stuff in the off arm. But because in response to that I said, I'm sorry, I don't understand, they shoved it all in my right arm. Now I'm mostly ambidextrous, like it doesn't really bother me what hand I use to do anything, like, but for the most part I will use my right hand. You know, like playing with my phone and stuff, like wallet and everything is on the left, phone is on the right. And they shoved this IV into my right arm. So the entire time I was in there, I was playing with my phone with my left hand, which is hard to type actually. Yeah, so everyone was really quite cool and helped out quite a bit. There was a lot of... My son's just going mental on the sofa. Yeah, there was a lot of reading on gallbladder problems and that sort of thing that was sent through to me, which I've read most of, not all of it. There's a lot, but I've read quite a chunk. And get this, gallbladder stones are caused by high levels of cholesterol in the blood and in your body. So mostly overweight people get them. The issue that we have is if you're having like a high fat diet, then yes, you can develop these gallstones from the cholesterol. But also, if you lose a lot of weight quickly, you're at an increased risk of gallstones. Yeah, when you're losing weight, there's a lot more cholesterol in your blood because of, you know, your body burning the fat and everything. So, not only so apparently you can have, like, you know, gallstones form and no symptoms or anything for like 20, 30 years, like whatever, like supposedly about 1 in 5 people have them. Are you all right? Are you okay? Yeah? Okay. Just swallowed a bit of spit the wrong way. Cool. Yeah, so apparently you can have them and no symptoms. Like, only about, like, it's something like 1 in 5 people have them. And, you know, that's fine, you know, like, up until recently, I had no problems. But evidently, starting to lose weight and cut all the fat out of the diet and burning even more than I was taking in previously means that, you know, my stones started acting up and I started having attacks and pains. And that's what all of those stomach pains on mornings were after I'd eaten greasy food, because not only have I lost weight, but then I've added in even more grease. So, good times. So apparently everything's come to a head. Supposedly if you're losing weight around about 16 weeks into losing weight from like cutting out, like, you know, like going from a high fat diet into a low fat diet, if you cut about 16 weeks in is when symptoms might first start appearing of like serious pain. What was day 112? Exactly 16 weeks. Oh dear. Dearie me, never mind. So, this morning has been a wonderful exercise. You remember how I was whinging in the hour-long vlog that I posted the other day about amoxicillin and how I was taking that? Guess what drugs I've been prescribed as an antibiotic just to you know, sort of be a prophylactic against any infection from my gallstones. Amoxicillin. The universe is cruel and has a sense of humor, but it's like the sense of humor of a bully, you know? Like, ha ha ha. Check this out. Check what I can make happen to this dude. But this guy's been losing weight. Loads of fat. Let's give him the weird pain that happens mostly to fat people. So yay. Happy times. Happy times. I'm going to cut this off after I finish this, but I figured, like, you know, it was pretty late when I got home. I couldn't be bothered with shit. I couldn't be bothered with stuff. It was pretty late when I got home. I couldn't be bothered with anything at that point other than eating some food, drinking some water, and just lying down and going to sleep. Because I'd only had like 4 hours of sleep going into that, and then, you know, sitting around in a quiet area for like 7 hours. 5 of that in pain. Like, yeah, that was good. That was fun. So I was very tired yesterday. I just went to bed with that on, and now, I'm gonna cut it off in a minute. So yeah, this morning has been great. I've navigated the German medical system to some extent. Apparently, so I called the clinic that I was given the number for, and unfortunately they weren't answering. So I called the main number, like the sort of switchboard for that company, that hospital, and they put me through to someone who said, "Oh no, you don't call us, you call this number instead." So wrote that down, called that number, spoke to the young lady on the end who switched to English for me very helpfully. She said she didn't speak much English, but she did really well actually. She got like 90% of it perfect. And what has come from that is apparently I need to have an appointment with my GP, my normal doctor, to get an Überweisungsschein, which I think is like a prescription. Like, Überweis sounds very much like advice sort of thing. So like Überweisungsschein, like an advice slip, an advice ticket, which I have anyway from the hospital, but apparently for like some sort of reason it needs to be from my GP. Once I've got that, I need to call a gastroenterology department, Praxis for Gastroenterologie. I've got a name that I have to talk to, possibly, like a recommended one, but like, you know, anyone can do it, except there's somewhere nearby. And then I've been told that apparently if there is like aftercare that's needed, like outpatient care, or like maybe if I need to be admitted for a night to sleep off the effects of general anesthetic further, then I have to call the number that I was given by the switchboard. Yay! I mean, this is the thing. This is how much random effort is involved in like just my thing, like my situation, which is I'm fairly certain it's sort of nationalized healthcare here in Germany. In the UK, this is about the same level of messing around that I would have had to do. But as far as I'm aware, in America, it's like, if I called an ambulance, it would be like $5,000 immediately off the bat. Then every single step of the way I would have been charged for. And then at the end of everything, I will receive like a bill, and it's 50-50 as to whether or not like my insurance provider would cover it or would not cover it. And, you know, like I think by this point I probably have already set up a GoFundMe. But yeah, like as far as I'm aware, it's like a nationalized health service over here. That I know that me and Sigurd are with TK, which I think is like the basic one that everyone gets. But I don't know. I can't remember. Like this is so much more complex than the NHS in the UK. But anyway. So we've made progress. I've left a voicemail with my GP. I've left a voicemail with my GP asking for an appointment. because I need like an Überweisungsschein for cholecystectomy, which is, you know, like what they call it over here, gallbladder removal. Yay! I've had like no pain today or anything, like been fine. So yeah, yay. Oh well. There is a small amount of video of when I was in the throes of like right at the beginning, but I don't know. I'm probably not gonna post that in any way, shape, or form. I'm not gonna put it in here, just because like I don't know. Like, okay, so here's this dilemma that I have. The sort of journalism training that's in me and my own sense of like trying to show you and be as honest as possible is like, post the video. People might need to see exactly like, you know, how bad things were for you. But then at the same time, the sensible part of me that is thinking about YouTube demonetization and, you know, like not upsetting people unnecessarily and stuff is like, don't post it. Like, don't show anyone. Like, why would you even record it in the first place, you idiot? So, yeah, I don't know. I'm probably not going to post it in any way, shape, or form. I'm not going to add it into this. Just be assured that it was bad. It was bad. There was a lot of screaming. There's a lot of swearing in the video. And, you know, like, because my body's reacting to all this pain, sweat's just pouring out of me. And you can see it, like, beading and dripping, like, right then and there. It's crazy. But, yeah. Oh, well, right. That is day number 113 done. Thankfully, day 114 will be a little bit better, and I'll record day 114s later on once I've actually, you know, like had any sort of experiences today. Yeah. Fun times. Fun times. Right. Thank you very much for joining me. See you next time. Bye-bye.